Hello, welcome, Satnam. My name is Priya. If any of you are unfamiliar with me, welcome to another class on practical spirituality. So, we gather together to explore and discover what people like you and I, possibly thousands of years ago, were also interested in, which is who are we? Why are we here? How does this whole mechanism of life unfold? What is real? What is unreal? I mean, these are some cosmic metaphysical questions that all of us as human beings have been asking before psychology was developed, before science was developed. So I think these yogis were the most ancient explorers, and they were very thorough in their explorations. And one of the major quests, one of the underlying quests that these yogis had was to figure out what is real and what is unreal. Now, granted, back then, they didn't have as many distractions of the senses as we do today. I think we are on a steroid dose of sensory experiences. But even then, thousands of years ago, they had that sense of taste and touch and smell. They still had the tendency of addictions. They still have the tendencies of attachments and creating what is mine and what is not mine. They could still experience pain and pleasure. And in that experience, they were very aware of the transience of life. So imagine back then how much time they must have had on their hands, especially in a place like India, where there was no dearth of food, which means people didn't have to go hunting or fishing either, especially northern India. Food was pretty much falling off the trees. So they had a lot of time on their hands with no Netflix, no YouTube, no Instagram, no place to commute to work, no Zoom. But they had a lot of time on their hands to observe what was taking place all around them and what was taking place within them. So it is said that these yogis were starting to pay attention to the beat of the heart. And the earliest ways of calculating time was in the beat of the heart and the blink of the eyes. It's pretty interesting. So the underlying quest from where all spirituality began was a question mark. And that question was, what is real and what is unreal? And after a lot of thorough explorations, these yogis arrived at one underlying factor to decipher what is real and unreal, one litmus test. And that litmus test was anything that dies or is transient is not real. Anything that is never changing is real. So they would dissect through layers of body, mind, energy to realize what, zooming inwards to sense what within me is a place where nothing changes. Because my body's changing, my thoughts are changing, my emotions are changing, my attachments are changing, my attractions are changing, my aversions are changing. So everything is changing, which means it can be real. So in this exploration, they coined a term, and that term is called Atma. And Atma, in translated to more English terms, equates to soul or comes close to soul. But it's hard to decipher what the meaning of soul is either. I feel this word Atma represented a core essence, a core imprint of essence that each person has, each living creature has. And their goal and therefore the goal of all spirituality became to get to know this Atma and become a mirror image of that essence that we are, that is imprinted within us. So let's begin our class by just sensing into it. Wherever you are sitting, make sure your spine is tall, roll the shoulders back and down, lift the chest, and tuck the chin in ever so slightly. Close your eyes and allow your gaze to focus at the middle of the forehead between the brows. Allow your hands to rest on the knees and keep the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. And now slowly bring your attention, your awareness to your breath. And begin to follow your breath within your body. As your inhale reaches into your abdomen, give permission to your abdomen to expand. And keep drawing that inhale up into the chest, opening the heart, the lungs, the rib cage, opening the shoulders. And on the exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the chest. And slowly draw the navel in towards the spine. And begin again slowly observing what your breath is doing within your body. Just follow it as if you are following it with a camera. You're recording its every move, its every movement, every place it goes. Continue to follow your breath. Observe all the places creating an expansion for you. Observe all the places it's creating a gentle contraction on the exhale. And if you allow yourself to become attuned to your breath, you will begin to have a very gentle, expansive experience. And right there, within that inhale and exhale, you will find a very ephemeric, subtle, sublime sensation. And that formless sensation, that non-verbal sensation, is a clue to your essence, your very unique essence. So anytime we can slow our breath down and begin to pay attention to this space within us, begin to acknowledge that this is the same space that yogis thousands of years ago were also exploring, were also getting to know. Notice how you can feel the sensation, you can acknowledge this presence, but you have no words to describe it. Your mind will not be able to grasp it. Therefore, the faculty of feeling was given to us. We can feel things that we might not be able to describe cognitively. So continue to breathe, continue to observe that space, that expansion that's building within you. That essence that is becoming a little more present with each breath. And acknowledge that feeling, that frequency as your Atma, as your soul. Feel its uniqueness, and it'll tell you it's unique. It's so special and so unique because the moment you start feeling it, you will yourself start to feel special. Stay with that feeling. We'll use the traditional mantra of Ong Namo Gurudev Namo to tune into this essence. Continue the breath and begin to rub the palms together. Press the palms together, press the thumbs against the sternum. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. And let's inhale deeply to tune in. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath and continue to gaze at yourself. Continue to gaze at this vastness that resides within you. And now very gently exhale through the nose. Relax the breath. Relax the palms. So Ong Namo Gurudev Namo literally means I acknowledge, I bow to this divine wisdom that is transmitting within me, that is broadcasting within me. So today, I have a possibility, I think we'll try it out, for you guys to type in your questions or comments, and when I take a little break from the lecture, I'll be able to address your questions and your comments. So I'm pretty sure I have the right screen on, but let's try it out today, yes? Just so we can make this real interactive. That's when this material gets really juicy. All right. So these yogis, as I was sharing earlier, are very interested in this essence. So the goal of spirituality became to ultimately get to know yourself. Sounds pretty simple. If I were to meet you and ask you guys who you are, you would give me a nice long story about who you are. But if I would truly probe and dig in and try to find out or ask you certain questions to locate, do you truly know who you are? It'll baffle you. You might not find answers. And that's a very uncomfortable place for us because we all like to think we know who we are. So we can keep a mask of confidence as we go through life. But the beauty of life is this. Our entire existence is given to us so we can piece together, literally piece together who we are, moment by moment, experience by experience, tragedy to tragedy, joy to joy. Every moment, every unfolding moment of our life is giving us clues as to who we are. And our job, our journey, is to find those puzzle pieces, fit all those pieces together, and see what emerges as an image. This essence that we have is pretty much the framework of your life's puzzle. It is the framework of the image that will emerge as you begin to collect pieces of yourself. When we come into this world as a baby, we are whole. We are whole and complete. But this wholeness is not aware of itself. Just like your dog or cat, just like the tree in your yard, they're all beautiful, whole, and complete. But the problem is, none of them have the awareness of who they are. They just are, simply are. And there's such beauty and innocence in that. But we as a human species was somehow given this capacity, drive, and the power to turn our attention inwards, to turn our attention back towards ourselves and look at our own original face. And in that reflection, have the realization, that's who I am. And any time any human being has been able to experience that, they have been called liberated, which means they gathered the pieces through struggle, through challenges, through beatitude, through surrender, through all of those capacities within us, through our strengths, through our weaknesses, through our mistakes. And through all of that, pieces got gathered, and finally, as I put all those puzzle pieces together, my face shows up, and I can have this amazingly fulfilling experience in my heart that says, I know who I am. Ideally, by the middle of your life, right? So let's say your lifespan is about 100. By, I would say, about 40s and 50s, you should start to be able to see what's emerging from the collection of your life's moments as your sense of self. I know these are complex concepts, but just stay with me. Take a moment, again slowing your breath down, and begin to sense what have you collected so far as an image of yourself. Does that image feel, it might not yet be completed puzzle, but the pieces that are complete, just here and there, little chunks of it that are starting to come together, do they feel like they're really coming together? Like something is emerging and there you feel a little bit of that excitement in your heart, that little bit of enthusiasm to see what this is going to look like? Or does it feel completely disjointed? Like the pieces you're trying to fit, the stories that you're trying to fit into each other, they're really not fitting, but you are trying your best to just jam them in. Does it feel disjointed and mismatched? So just slow your breath down and truly, authentically sense that for yourself. And be real. Please be real with yourself. What did you find? You're welcome to write that in comments. And so I can see your comments. Tell me authentically what you found, because our journey forward will be based on what you sensed. And until we are not radically honest with ourselves, the possibility of change doesn't emerge. And that is the underlying foundation of spirituality, practical spirituality, is we have to start to become truthful with ourselves. So I only see one comment here. It says, "Hi Priya." Feel free to share what's your experience right now. So imagine your life like a treasure hunt, yes? You are on a hunt to find yourself. And that is why we engage in so many things and so many attachments and so many patterns, because through all of them, we are trying to figure out, is that me or is that not me? But here's the twist. As you're going through life, as you are interacting with the society, the world, with people, having these investments of energy and time and space and desires and relationships and so forth, not all of the things that you experience are necessarily part of your puzzle. Because we are very empathetic creatures, we are constantly picking up on other people's essences as well. And if we are not mindful, if we are not having a practice that connects us to our own essence every day, you can very easily mistake somebody else's essence as yours. And that's where everything starts to get messed up in our lives. Which means as we are going through life and having all these varied experiences, you might start gathering other people's experiences as your stories. You might start gathering other people's problems and challenges and start to solve their challenges instead of really starting to acknowledge your own. Oh no, Peter took away my comment section. The comments are coming in now. Beautiful, infinite space, fighting all the time, big ego, often can think of self, of all the things we are, what I do, my titles, although I know that's not my true self. Thank you, guys. So this is where I think the real work of practical spirituality becomes so important. So again, let's take that analogy. You have a framework of a puzzle, yes? If you've ever done a puzzle, you will see there's a little outline, kind of, and then you find all the pieces that match. Sometimes you match pieces in little clusters and then put those clusters together and finally go, it's somewhat coming into clear relief. But like I said, as you're going through life, not everything that's showing up in your environment is necessarily part of your puzzle. And that is this amazing twist of this fourth distortion, this fourth mirage that the yogis talked about. And they said, we start to mistake the not self as self. And so we start gathering not selves, something that is not me, that is not part of my puzzle. I'm gathering pieces, but I really don't know. I have no way of deciphering or sorting out which pieces belong to my puzzle and which ones are other people's life's puzzle, which I might be a part of. So it can get pretty complex. Another analogy, let's take another analogy. Imagine you were an explorer of outer space, yes? And you are on an expedition to find other planets like Earth. Now you have lived on this planet for many years, and I'm sure to be a part of this exploration, you had to get to know certain qualities, biological qualities, chemical qualities, physical qualities, gravitational qualities, everything that allows Earth to be able to be inhabitable by human beings. So you are on a mission to find other planets like Earth. You know the basic things that you're looking for, yes? You know the basic qualities looking for. You go, all right, put me on a spaceship, let's go. I'm excited to go find planet Earth. Now, as you go off into the space, it could take you years and years and years in space to even arrive at one planet or two planets, and then the exploration of that and so forth. Now imagine you arrived at Saturn, yes? And you've been circling Saturn for many years, investigating it, exploring it, blah, blah, blah. And over time, you start to like Saturn. You start to enjoy its rings and you're fascinated by it. And somewhere along the way, you say, you know what? I've decided I'm going to have a residential community established right here on Saturn. Now, Alexa, which is planted in your spaceship, let's say, it broadcasts you this message. It says, but you were meant to look for certain qualities in this planet. And you go, well, what were those qualities? I really don't remember. It's been so long since I left Earth. And you decide, well, because you have invested so many years, so much energy, so much time in exploring Saturn, and you kind of like it, you decide to make home on Saturn. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if you try to plant your home on Saturn? Well, you will vaporize. It's the exact same thing in our incarnation. As you come into this life, you are excited to find all those pieces that belong to your essence. Children have such close connection with their essence. They're constantly gathering those experiences. But slowly, as the mind develops, as the senses develop, they pull our consciousness outwards into this world so we can have those interactions we were meant to have. But as you do that, if you start to lose touch with your essence, then the memory of who you are begins to fade. And that's what spirituality is a recognition, a remembrance of my essence. Because once you remember it, then you will look for it in everything that you are doing, that the choices that you are making about the future or about the present. You will look for it in the choices you are making in attaching to certain things or people, your career, your work, your choices in relationships, your choices to release old and gather the new. Everything, in everything, you will look for your essence. But now the problem is that most of us have forgotten it, that memory is so faded that we have been trying to plant our homes in the non-self, which means we have been trying to locate ourselves in pieces, in attachments, in desires, in destinations, in measures of success and failures, which have nothing to do with our own unique puzzle. And to the extent that you plant yourself, you mistake the non-self as self, to that extent, a little piece of your essence vaporizes. A little piece of you vaporizes. Which means to that extent you feel a little dead within yourself. Once again, sense your life and authentically, truly acknowledge how alive or enthusiastic do you feel in your life. Not just in this moment because something fun is happening, not that kind of alive, but like an underlying sense of aliveness in your life. To what degree, to what percentage do you feel that sense of aliveness and enthusiasm day to day? Even if things are going wrong, you still have that aliveness to explore. So close your eyes, slow your breath down. Allow that expansion of the belly. And if it shows up for you, take a few more seconds. It'll reveal itself really quickly. So if it shows up for you, write it down, post it here. All right, open your eyes so you know. And I would really, truly advise you to not let go of this awareness. You know in this moment to what extent you feel alive and to what extent do you feel your essence is vaporizing. This is a wonderful clue. If there was a point of changing directions or turning your life around, this would be that pivoting point for you. Because now that you know to this extent, I feel not alive. That means somewhere along the way, the pieces that you have accumulated as you, as your story, little tiny sentences of your story, some of those sentences, some of those stories don't belong in your life. They're not yours. And some of the things that you have ignored might be the places you have to go back in your own meditative process and acknowledge them and bring them back into your life's work. And some of these are places that we truly don't want to dive into. We don't want to look at those things. And we have a really sophisticated system of diverting our investment of time, energy, emotions, and heart into the non-self. So here are a few examples. And I'll come back to the comments in a moment. So just check in with yourself here, and you can journal this too, or keep journaling this even after the class ends. How many of the numerous problems that you carry in a giant sack over your shoulders are actually yours? How many of the numerous problems that you carry in a giant sack over your shoulders, feeling the weight of it, are actually yours? And or how many of them are made up? Your identity with political systems, your identification with old relationships that are way gone. There's nothing more to be done about that. And yet there's an identification that's carrying forward. How many of those pieces, those problems that are not yours, are you choosing, are you making a conscious choice of carrying in your life? Just pause here. Just jot down a few, type them up here. I'm liking the questions, so please keep typing them in and I'll address them in a moment. Do you sense a few? Do you sense a few wrong puzzle pieces? The moment you realize, why am I doing this? Why am I carrying the burden of the future economic state when it actually doesn't apply to me? And or I know I will find my way through, then why am I carrying that stress? Or why am I carrying the problems aunt who has 2 kids who don't talk to each other? I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but we are doing that all the time. And a lot of that need to carry somebody else's problems is in an effort to ignore, to not see our own puzzle pieces. because it might be challenging for you to pick that piece up. It might be challenging for you to look at that piece because it doesn't look very pretty right now. That singular piece by itself is not looking pretty. But if you were to pick it up and add it to some other pieces, and the image that might show up from that might look beautiful. So now that you have pondered on that one, let me introduce another one. How many dreams and desires that you have, dreams and desires, yes, are actually borrowed from other people? It could be expectations that others have of you. It could be dreams and desires that you picked off of social media, from movies in general. Right now, that's where we're getting a lot of our impressions. How many of your dreams and desires are borrowed from others? And again, this will require a bit of sorting, to sensing into, to leaning into. I think I was sharing with you last time, every desire that you have, every desire, puts a condition on your happiness. So if you're carrying so many of these extra little tiny little desires, so many tiny little desires, all of those are now putting a condition on your happiness. But if you can find a way, and we will go into how to find that way, if you can find a way to sense into your essence every single day, to make a relationship with this essence. Yeah, another word we use for that essence is Satnam in our Kundalini practice. If you can find a way to make a relationship with that, then immediately you would know if this is my desire or this is not my desire. I'm desiring it because my partner desires it. I'm desiring this because my parents want me to desire this. That in itself is a long exploration. But the beauty of it is the moment you begin on this journey, awareness starts to grow. It's like you shining a flashlight on something that was in the dark. And now you can see. And in that seeing, in that sensing, you have to make choices. Once you see something that is not part, that is not me, that's a desire picked off of someone else, and I've worked very hard to try to fulfill that desire. But all that I'm getting are dead ends. I'm getting no resolution. I can't seem to be getting anywhere. Not only that, I'm not having any enthusiasm, any excitement while I'm working my way through these desires. That's another clue. I'm not having any joy as I have been endeavoring to fulfill these desires. And if that is happening, then it is definitely not your puzzle piece. That's one challenge, to figure that out. Another challenge is to let that go. I think that one is a little bit of a bigger challenge, letting it go. We have filled our lives with so many not selves, so many not selves. In fact, normally the way we live, yes, not an awake person, but normally the way we live, our lives have been filled by 90% not self, possibly 10% self. And that is why you will see there's such a deep desire, there's a neediness in us to keep attached, to stay latched on to somebody whose essence or whose self we have made ourself. And if they leave us, if they move, if they shift, we feel a huge level of betrayal inside of us. You say, I have sacrificed my life, making sure that I have made you into me. And now you're going to change, you're going to leave. That is so difficult. And I see that over and over and over again. And that is why we like to imprison people in our lives into what we call relationships. Relationships should be creating an experience of freedom and openness. Anytime you have that, you will know that relationship is part of your essence. Anytime an experience is imprisoning, it's too effortful, something went wrong there. Somewhere along the way, you forgot what you were looking for. But to make that change, to say, I'm going to find my way back, I'm going to change course, is one of the hardest as a human being, because we have planted our roots, we have established that residential community on Saturn. And to uproot that community is more difficult than figuring out what my Satnam is. And that is why you need such a strong practice to center yourself, to have a clear mind, to have balanced nervous system, balanced emotions. So you can slowly but surely start to clear what needs to be cleared and invite in what needs to be inviting in. And that is the crux of living a fulfilled life. That is the biggest foundation for living a fulfilled life. All right, let's address some of your questions and comments. I feel a lot of aliveness, energy, and enthusiasm in my daily life. I have been following my essence more, and this confirms it. Vaheguru, congratulations. How can I remove the wrong pieces from my puzzle? I think I just answered that. All you have to do is first realize and be clear on that realization. Sometimes it might take some time, weeks, months of inviting that question again and again, again and again. Does this match my essence? Does this match my essence? Does this match my essence? And for that, you need some time with yourself. This process is not possible without finding some moments of quiet where nobody else's projections are interfering with your mind. And that's why we recommend creating that everyday morning practice. It's in the early morning hours when the world hasn't woken up. And you are so close to your essence during that time, and such amazing conversations can happen during that time. That's when you introduce a puzzle piece and say, is this the right piece? Is this matching my essence? And don't wait for an answer, don't wait for a verbal answer. Feel the frequency. You will be able to feel it. We were created, literally, in our biology, in our chemistry, in our physics. We were created to feel. So put that capacity to use. Sense it for yourself. Is this matching who I am, my essence? Another way of experimenting it, if it's not clear, is go ahead and make that piece part of your puzzle and walk around with that piece for a few days or weeks or months or years. And it'll tell you, you will feel that something doesn't fit, something keeps creating this little sensation of insidious pain, right? It becomes almost like chronic. And that's when you know it's not fitting. I tried, but it's not fitting. So sometimes you have to go through that process. These yogis had a wonderful detector, like a litmus test, a process by which they would sense what is real and what is unreal, what is me and what is not me. I think I introduced that concept last week. And it's called Neti Neti Atma. Neti, N-E-T-I, Neti Atma, which is soul. It's almost like a metal detector. Yes, it's a process of elimination. Imagine you had a stack of pictures. Yes, you've gone through life, you've taken so many pictures, and you have a stack of them. And you are deciding which one of these pictures should go in your personal album. Yeah, you have to go through a sorting process. Yes, you might have to categorize, you might have to sort, and that'll take time. So this process requires time, which you will have to create in your world if you truly want to get to that fulfilled space. And as you go through that sorting process, you check in with each picture. Me? Not me. Album, should I put this in here? Should I not put this in here? So neti neti atma, it literally means not me, not me, not me, not me. Me. So a lot of times you can get to know which piece is part of your puzzle through a process of elimination. And sometimes in that process of elimination, you have to try to see if it fits. It might feel, yeah, that one might fit. Just the right shape, feels just right. I'm really feeling it too, especially because I've invested a lot of time and energy and a couple of years in this. So I'm going to try to make it fit. No problem with that. Life is very forgiving. And it'll allow you to try to jam in as many pieces as possible. And it'll give you permission to feel the discomfort of that too. And if you're feeling that discomfort over a period of time, it's like a shoe that doesn't fit. All you have to say, yeah, I've tried this. I've walked around miles with this shoe. Why did I wear a shoe that didn't fit? I could feel that pain immediately. I could feel that tightness immediately. But it doesn't matter. Even if you decide 5 years down the lane, wrong shoe size, you can change it. But you have to make a choice. So neti neti atma is one thing that if this works for you, this formula, this clue works for you, process of elimination is one where our mind really works with sensing and figuring out. Because as we all begin with life in our 20s, we have no clue. We are so wanting to know who we are. That enthusiasm is so beautiful in our 20s. But all we want to do as quickly as possible is gather as much as we can and slap on some kind of image that tells the world, I have figured myself out. And most of us, and trust me, I've done that too, most of us know inside of us that it's fake. But it's okay to begin that way. It is okay to begin with a mask. But as you come to your 30s, as you start to grow in your awareness, you are meant to slowly start to replace piece by piece. This is working, this one worked. All right, I'll keep these. These ones not working. Let me sort these out. Let me replace one at a time. But one thing your psyche won't let you do is have a vacuum. And that is why I think somewhere our subconscious mind just says, let me just grab as many, whatever is close to me, whatever is easily available, slap it on. There you go, I figured myself out. But there is no problem. Your mind, your subconscious mind will not let you have a vacuum. So it will say it's okay to pick a false piece and just keep it as a placeholder for now. But make sure you don't keep that placeholder for too long, because it's going to start to create pain in your life. If you are listening to this lecture today, then you know all the places that are hurting in your life. Or if you don't know, all you can feel is just this random slow emission, the slow release pain process. Then it's time for you to start to form a relationship with your essence. Begin with a practice, and Kundalini Yoga is such an amazing practice. Not just Kundalini, Tai Chi, Qigong, any practice that has mind and body connected, that connects all these spaces, and heart and soul, it connects all these pieces. You will find a relationship with that essence. But you have to truly invest yourself in wanting that. Right now, the place we are in our lives as a collective, after the novelty of being at home and having relaxation and not having the busyness that is wearing off, I'm watching people getting antsy. I'm watching people rearing to get back to that busyness. that momentum that we have created, that busyness that we have created in our life, lulls us to sleep. And now that there's no momentum and people are being very gently nudged into looking at their own lives, at their own faces, as reflections. Who am I? I'm supposed to spend time with myself. And if they're not wanting to do that, they will feel an urgency to get back into the busyness. Another clue about whether you have collected puzzle pieces which do reflect you or not is how you enjoy spending time with yourself. If you are truly enjoying that aloneness with yourself, and that is the most amazing time, better than what you can have while socializing, that is a clue that you have acquired a lot of pieces of yourself and you're really enjoying that reflection within you. Now you have somebody to talk to. But if it's disjointed, if disarrayed, it's confusion, it's chaos, you will not want to hang out with yourself. It's a simple process, yes? All right, let me see what else showing up for you. So yes, Brandon, removing those wrong pieces, once you've realized, is a matter of choice and effort, and the willingness, that willpower to say, I will do it as mindfully as possible without causing too much pain to anyone. But I know this is what needs to be done in my life. That choice, that clarity is the beginning of it. Somebody says, yes, I'm realizing a lot of these pieces are not mine. Vaheguru, thank you. Time for a change. I take on my family's problems a lot. It can be hard to differentiate them from my own, especially when they transfer their stresses directly onto me. That is so true. And that is, I think, the trickiest part of being a member of a family, being responsible for the well-being of the family. And without knowing, we are absorbing what is not me as me. So having a child and a husband, I can tell you this is something I do every single day. Because like I said, without even knowing, we're absorbing stuff. But that time when you have with yourself in the morning, in your morning practice, make sure you give yourself at least an hour to an hour and a half. At least. I enjoy about 2.5 hours. And I have made room in my life. I have purposefully done that over it. It was difficult in the beginning, but I made room. I chose to make room. So that is a space where I do my sorting and my separation every single day. So, what is this thing? What is this thing that's nudging at me? What is this thing? Again, like I said, these are formless, wordless sensations. But you can slowly learn, that's not my frequency. Let's put this in front of me. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm just placing it in this pile over here. And I'm placing this one in this pile over here. They might be related to my puzzle piece, but it's not my puzzle piece. And the moment you do that, you will have such a sense of relief. Anxiety will begin to calm down. Stress will begin to calm down. But as we are living in today's world, and as fast as we are going, anyone who is not doing this sorting out process will, this is inevitable, will experience that wall. They will experience huge amount of anxiety. Therefore, more than ever, more than the time of those yogis, and yet they were exploring this, we need to learn how to pace our own life. We need to learn what pieces we want to create the construction of my life. How many do I want? How many friends do I want? How many social media accounts do I want? How many gossip magazines do I want to subscribe to? How many phone calls am I making each day? How many problems am I inviting from other people each day? I can construct my life. It's a little challenging in the beginning because you are connected with other people. But the beauty is, and again, it's a guarantee, once you decide that this is how I want to live, slowly everybody else in your life will become okay with it. They will, because they have no choice. So, taking that charge, this is me, this is myself, and I can slow down and I can decide what I want to gather. Tony says, to me, my essence is not defined by external forces. And I'm pretty sure, Tony, you had to do a lot of work to get to that space. I can almost see you nodding your head right now. And that is the work that all of us must do. That is where practicality becomes real. That is where spirituality becomes real. That is where the rubber meets the road. Until then, let's not keep faking. Let's not keep doubling down on our not selves. That is going to create way more pain. But to find that courage to pause and sort and be patient to sense into learning what your essence is, that forgotten, faded sense of essence. Allow yourself to invest that in energy and time and space. And that's what we are here for. This is what we do the classes for. You can always go to the online studio. You can always gather more of this capacity. But one thing you want to do is not run away from the physicality, because this is your nervous system. So as we get into our Kriya today, make sure you don't just pause and walk off now that you've heard the lecture. This is the work you have to do so you can develop that sense of self. And I guarantee you, I promise you, once you know the sense of self, everything will change. And you will start to attract the right pieces. Literally, they just get pulled towards you instead of having to do so much work and so much effort towards it. All right. Oh, hi, Victoria. So beautiful. I like this. I'm going to start doing this every Friday so you guys can talk to me directly. All right, let's do some work that we can create that sense of self, that establish that stability, like, this is who I am. Let me establish that, and from there I can check in reflection with everything. Come sitting up. And you can do this Kriya sitting in a chair as well. Bring your hands to your knees and begin to circle from the base of the spine, closing your eyes. And as you begin this movement, become aware of everything place in your body. Start to feel, start to sense. It's a practice. And slowly begin to find your breath and to hear the sound of your breath. Now slowly begin to reverse direction. Can you hear your breath? If you can hear your breath, your essence is not too far. Reverse direction again. And one more time. Inhale in the center, spine tall, suspend the breath, focus at the third eye point, and start to feel into this blank space. Don't run away from this space. And gently exhale. Slowly extend your legs out. Shake them out. All right, bring your arms up. Let's do a little warm up. Exhale forward, reach for the toes. Lift the chest. This is your inhale. Exhale, draw your chest down towards your thighs. If you need to bend the knees slightly. And you are inhaling up, exhaling down while holding on to your toes. And I would like for your breath to be nice and strong. Really keep hearing yourself on each inhale, each exhale. Inhaling up, exhaling down, strong, powerful breath. In any place you find yourself losing that connection to your breath, that is where you lost connection to your essence. So even in this short period of practice that we're doing today, if you can stay aware, be present with your breath all the time, you will have such transformational experience by the end of it. Last few seconds, see if you can pick up the pace. All right, inhale up, suspend the breath, keep your eyes closed, gazing at the third eye point. Exhale, relax the breath, and slowly come into easy pose again, cross-legged. You are welcome to sit on a pillow if that works to help you keep your spine tall. That's what we want. You can also do this posture standing up, so feel it for yourself. Here's what we're doing. We're making Gaeng Mudra with both of our hands, and we're going to make a big circle next to our shoulders, then a smaller circle away from it, and then extend the arms out, bending at the wrists. So let me demonstrate this for you. 1, 2, extend, and then reverse the journey. Small circle, big circle, and bring the hands back next to the shoulders. Big circle, small circle, extend. Small circle, big circle, hands come next to the shoulders. You can make a mantra for yourself. Big, small, extend. Small, big, back. Big, small, extend. Small, big, back. Work for yourself. Do this only for yourself, for no one else. And if that narrative is showing up in your mind, that conditioning is showing up to always live for someone else, this is your time to undo it with this posture, with this mudra. Strong breath. Now as your arms start to hurt, don't give up. Do not give up. You can rest. Place your hands on your heart and just stay there for a few breaths. And then go back into doing this again. You can rest as many times as you need, as often as you need, but do not give up. This is how we are building that inner strength to stay steady, to keep looking at who we are. Do not running away. That's what you are practicing right now. Make it a dance. Start enjoying it. Hum along, chant along. It's up to you. Whatever you need to do, but stay with it. No running. You have 30 more seconds. Strong nervous system is extremely important for doing any of this work, any of that spiritual work. And finish the last round. Extend both the arms out. Open your heart as if you're pushing those two walls away from you, opening the walls of your heart. Stay, stay, stay. Exhale, relax the arms down, palms on the knees. Heart lifted, a gentle smile on your face. And there's your essence. See if you can feel it right now, if you're present with it right now. Breathe, enjoy it, invite it in. Breathe. With each breath, invite it in more and more and more into every cell of your body. All right. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, you're going to grab onto opposite arms or just the area above the elbows. You can grab a hold of the elbows if that makes it easy. We're going to move both the arms up on the inhale. On the exhale, you will bring the arms down powerfully. They will almost smack into your rib cage. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Again, you are creating a practice of not giving up right now. That's what you're practicing. With strong breath, I'm going to be with myself. I'm going to be with myself. You have to become a little stubborn. And become stubborn with this movement. And once that stubbornness, that willpower is established with your breath, begin to imagine you crushing anything that is not you, anything you have gathered as not you. Just imagine just crushing that. And you know you have accumulated and you find you can't seem to get rid of it. Start crushing it right now, energetically, emotionally, start doing it right now. Again, at any time you feel your arms are getting tired or your body can't sustain this movement, place your hands on your heart, breathe for a few seconds and go back into it again. More determination, more clarity. And that comes with your breath, so make sure it's a strong, powerful breath, especially your exhale. Go for it, you have permission. Crush it, clear it. All those really strong predispositions, those strong habits that have captured you, that are not you. Clear them, crush, 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 strong breath. We're almost there. Inhale, raise both the arms up, lift the chest, lift the rib cage, apply a root lock, draw the rectum, sex organs, navel in and up, draw the energy up the spine, gaze at the crown. Exhale, relax the arms down, palms open on the knees, keep the heart lifted, and breathe, breathe. Feel this experience. Doesn't it feel freeing right now? Like a little piece of you has come back to you. Enjoy this moment. Inhale, exhale, relax the breath and bring your arms to the sides, slowly raising the arms up, interlace the fingers, let the index finger point, both the index fingers are pointing and the thumbs are crossed. So keep your arms up, your arms are hugging the ears, and begin to circle from the base of the spine again, big circles. Tracing circles with your fingertips. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And now you're only circling counterclockwise. So make sure you're circling only in a counterclockwise direction. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. This posture is done best without sitting on a pillow. So if you have a pillow, you can always slide that out and really allow that openness of the hips, of the pelvis, as you circle from the base of the spine. Infuse this area that surrounds you with your own energy. Make the space your own. With each inhale, with each exhale.
Theata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Ratsa Samudgata Soha Theata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse.
Once again, make it like a dance. Hum along, chant along if you feel like.
Theata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Ratsa Samudgata Soha Theata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Ratsa Samudgata Soha Theata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Ratsa Samudgata.
Last few seconds. And slowly inhale in the center, reach up tall with the fingertips, as tall as you can. Apply that root lock again, rectum, sex organs, navel, in and up, lifting that pelvic floor up towards the heart. Hold, smile, gaze at the crown. And gently exhale, sweeping the arms down, sweeping that aura, clearing that space for yourself. Open the palms on the knees. Heart open. Breathe. You can always extend the legs out, shake them out if you need to. Oh, beautiful. Take ownership of your breath. Take ownership of every feeling, every emotion that is playing in your body and mind. And notice in this moment if there is any stress. Are you feeling any stress right now in this moment? Which means you cleared it. So it didn't stay with you. That means it was never you. It was never part of yourself, no matter how much you try to convince yourself. We're going to get into meditation. And this meditation will ask you to have your palms up to the sides. And again, your hands are going to be in Gaeng Mudra. Again, you will have to lift the chest, drop the shoulders, and sustain this posture for a couple of minutes, about 5 minutes or so. But as you're holding this posture, you will be chanting a mantra, and that mantra, that affirmation says, I am divine. I am divine. So take a moment, stretch your legs out, shake them out, have a sip of water if you need to. Again, if there's not enough strength in your lower back yet, you're welcome to sit on a prop, a pillow, a bolster, making sure it's easy for you to sustain this posture. Yep. It's coming up. All right, let's get into the posture. Roll the shoulders back and down, extend the elbows, keep the chest lifted. Close your eyes. Focus on the screen of your mind and begin to sense into any narrative that you have acquired throughout your life that just doesn't fit with you. It creates that pain of a shoe that's 2 sizes too small. Face each of those narratives and begin to chant this affirmation to their face. I am divine. It'll take a few moments for you to feel it, but keep going with it. Acknowledge your essence. Who are you? Who are you? It starts to feel real. Start to chant louder. Fit this into your life. Replace all those pieces that don't fit with this. Even if it doesn't feel natural, keep going. Chant it to all the stressors in your life. And hold steady. Here I am, as who I am, with all my mistakes, with all my flaws. They're all good because they fit into me. I am divine. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale deeply again. Exhale, gently relax the arms, bending at the elbows. And keeping the hands still in Gaeng Mudra, bring the sides of the palms together to form a mirror, just like this. And you want to place that mirror just in front of your face. The fingers don't touch the face, but just in front of the face. Your eyes are closed, and I want you to gaze at your original face, that image that you were born with, that framework of the puzzle that you were born with, your Satnam, your Atma, your essence. And now whisper, loud whisper. Beautiful. Keep your heart lifted. Begin that sorting out process for you. Check in with the bigger puzzle pieces. Are they fitting? Is that my soul? Is that my soul? Does it match my essence? Does it match my essence? While you are chanting, whispering, this is who I am. I'm not budging from that. I'm not moving from my divinity. This is who I am. See if an image is showing up in that reflection. Your original face is forming. And please inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. And in the state of suspension, just begin to enjoy that essence that you are, that Atma that you are. If you feel like exhaling, inhale a little more. And now very gently exhale through the nose. Let's do this 2 more times. Keep the hands in front of your face. Take a deep inhale and keep gazing at that original face that you are, that original framework of your puzzle. Get to know it. Suspend the breath. Inhale a little more. And very gently exhale. 1 more time. Take a slow, deep inhale, filling the belly, chest, opening the shoulders. And suspend the breath and continue to gaze at that original face. Remember, recognize. A little more inhale. And very gently exhale. Relax the breath, relax the hands back into your lap. Keep the heart lifted and the shoulders relaxed. Just sit still with yourself for a few seconds. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. We're running short of time, but after we're done with the class, I would like for you to please lie down on your back and do a deep relaxation for about 10 minutes so you can really assimilate the energy of this Kriya. It's a very important step, so don't miss it. But let's acknowledge each other in our heart space, feel that connection heart to heart, and knowing that our essences can easily connect to each other without really needing to take on each other's weights, without needing to get imprinted by each other's stories. Placing your hands on your heart. Send a long time sunshine prayer to yourself, to all the places where you thought you had to be someone else. Slow your breath down. And as the long time sunshine prayer begins, you're welcome to chant along with it, or you can chant it silently with yourself in your heart.
May the long time sun shine upon you and all surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you and all surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you and all surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Please take a deep inhale. Exhale out through the mouth. Beautiful. Relax the breath. May peace be with you. May you surround yourself with as many beautiful spaces, beautiful experiences of joy and challenge alike. Knowing what you need to gather, collect as your own, and allowing which is not you to remain just right there in that little pile in front of you. But you don't have to take it as your own space, as your own Atma. Piece by piece, begin to locate who you are and begin to enjoy the whole expedition of life. Satnam. I'll see you next Friday.